Hi, I'm Luna Anna. I've come to do you all a video about consciousness. This is a follow on from the video I did that was entitled What Happens When You Leave Third Dimensional Consciousness. I did actually try and give you all a little treat because I was out for a walk and I thought it would have been nice to show you because I'm out for a walk where I live this time. I was in the Lake District in my last video and I just thought it would be nice because I live in a Victorian seaside resort that's not really changed very much since Victorian times in lots of ways. And so I thought it would have been nice to show you that, but it's too windy and I tried to do the video and it didn't work. So I thought, oh, you know what, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're just going to have my flat, which could do with tidying up and decorating as well. So I'm sorry about that. So what I want to say is, when I'm referring to consciousness in terms of dimensional consciousness, I'm referring to awareness, perception, and understanding. And when we talk about dimensional consciousness, we're talking about different levels of consciousness. And all it is, there's a tendency for people to get quite caught up in, thinking that one type of consciousness is better than another. For example, they might think that fifth dimensional consciousness is superior to third dimensional consciousness, or that third dimensional consciousness is inferior to fourth dimensional consciousness. And that's not actually true. It's just an easy way for our minds to understand. So, we have to have kind of like levels because that makes it easier for the mind to understand. And all we're really referring to is levels of awareness. And by that, it's levels of expansion of awareness. And to give you a bit more detail about that as well, what we're talking about is, so in third dimensional consciousness, we wear a lens of perception that is quite constrained. So we'll be aware that there's us and that there's, our world around us and the things in it, but we might not have much more understanding other than, the very sort of high level understanding of, I don't know, this is me stood in a room, that's a curtain, that's wallpaper, it's patterned, that's black, that kind of thing. And we don't really tend to be digging too deep into why or what it is or where it came from. Those kind of questions don't arise that much within the third dimensional consciousness, at least not until you are preparing to leave and go into fourth dimensional consciousness. Now, in fourth dimensional consciousness, it's a bit like, oh, hang on a minute, there's me and there's this wallpaper and this curtain, and well, what's that about? Where's it come from? What's it made of? How did it get there? I know I went to the shop, but there must be more to it than that, So it's where this kind of expansiveness starts to come in. And it's why it's always kind of connected to the spiritual journey, because of course where we end up is looking at the spiritual aspect of, hang on a minute, I know it's made of fabric, but what made that and what made that and what made that? And it's that kind of questioning that is opening you to the expansion of consciousness. And then in the fifth dimensional consciousness, the lens changes pretty dramatically actually. Between the third and fourth consciousness, it's not that dramatic a change. I'll explain why in a minute. And then the fifth dimensional consciousness, that's a totally different thing again, and you've got this, this much deeper understanding of yourself and everything, the world around you, and that just expands and expands and expands and gets deeper and deeper, and a bit more kind of into the realm of the mystic, really. And the reason why I said there's quite a dramatic difference between, fourth and fifth dimensional consciousness, third and fourth are quite similar because there's a yang energy to them, meaning a masculine energy, which I'm talking about it being quite structured. So there's what feels like to me, because these dimensional consciousness, it's quite difficult to explain, even though I'm good at simplifying things, because really it's, it's a somatic experience. You've got to actually experience it yourself to properly understand it. But in third and fourth dimensional consciousness, there's a sense of everything being labelled, structured, separate, different from each other. And then when you go into the fifth dimensional consciousness, it all changes and you go into the realm of the yin. So you're in a much more feminine realm and everything softens. So all the edges of everything softens. There's no, it's quite difficult to actually separate, you know, the curtain and the wallpaper from me, for example. Just feels like they're beaming out of me, like a projection outside of me that I'm projecting, kind of thing. So you get that kind of softening of the edges, and it's harder to find definition between things. And that's why I think of it as being like a more feminine realm. And actually, in all honesty, that is the true rise of the divine feminine on the planet, is actually just our raising of consciousness into this fifth dimensional lens of perception that just changes things slightly. So I hope that's helped you. If you've got questions, please leave them in the comments. Any I feel guided to answer, I will answer with a video or maybe just a comment. I love you all, and I'm so grateful for you being here, and I'm enjoying doing the videos. So please do engage and subscribe and follow. Lots of love. Bye.